everybody, I'm Dr. Karen Mikowski, aka Butterfly Karen. Welcome. I'm also the leading investigator on any of my cases, parapsychology and paranormal investigations. Welcome. Welcome. Now, tonight I want to discuss a murder case that happened here, very local in the city, in the town that I live in. That happened at, just after Easter, but back in April 2025. Too close to home, but I want to discuss my analysis, my findings, and my anxiety that I was feeling at the time. So I'm going to go into detail, but before I get started, I want to log the time and date. So it is Friday, June the 20th. June the 20th. Oh, can you see it? Oh la la. Okay. 2025. So let me just log in. So 2025 at 9:35 p.m. Strange. There's just so much to do about this case I don't buy at all. And I'm going to go into my reasons why. So, but I will start with this. In April 2025, I was woken up at 3:16 a.m. I don't know exactly what date because I can't remember. There's so much been going on, but I knew it was in April. Because it was only like a couple of months ago. And I remember it clearly because I was woken up with somebody trying to break into my back of my bedroom door, into my home. And obviously, it freaked me out to the point where it woke me up. Now, 3:16 a.m., the community where I live in, that doesn't happen. And people here in my community that know me, know you don't. I don't let people in my home. So I'm not going to be entertaining anybody at 3:16 a.m. And nobody here in my community knows you don't just walk or try and break into somebody's home at 3:16 a.m. in this community. No, we have a very close community and we watch out for each other. But it freaked me out, obviously, and I obviously put the light on, and I just kind of did what I do just to sort of make a noise. But whoever it was got freaked out. And by the time I didn't really want to open my back door straight away, but by the time I looked out my curtain, whoever it was had gone. And obviously, the community where I live, there's certain parts of the back of my home, it's a lot, it's a lot darker, even though there's a lot of, people have lights on and stuff, but it would have made sense if you knew of me or you wanted to sort of like intrude in my home, right? That would probably be the best, not anymore, because I didn't bother reporting it because I thought, well, I can't prove it. I don't know who it was. So I put a camera up. My camera is there, but it gives everybody else privacy, but it's there to catch the culprit. Now, the scary part was around about the same time. See, could have just been random. But 76-year-old Pastor Bill Schoneman was found murdered in his home on April 28, 2025. So that's where a little bit of anxiety sort of kicked in, like, oh, please tell me we haven't got... Again, New River is not big. There's surrounding areas. You've got like Cave Creek, you've got Carefree Highway, you've got Desert Hills and things like, and you've got obviously like Phoenix, but New River is quite a small little town, a small tiny city, town, whatever you want to call it, but it's, if you don't really know where New River is, I don't know, it's one of those, it's hard to explain this, but it's easy to find when you're off the I-17 or even coming off Carefree Highway, but if you're not familiar with the area, you'd have to be familiar with the area, especially at the community where I live as well. It's a gated community, so you're going to need to have access. You'd have to either have access, or if you were going to come in and start wandering around, you'd probably have to do it on foot. But it's weird. It's just but then there's sort of cameras near those areas anyway. So I didn't want to sort of freak out straight away, because once I heard about this pastor's murder, oh God, I immediately, obviously because of who I am and what I do, the moment it was reported that it was a pastor, I'm like, this is religiously motivated. I knew that straight away. And that's why I was a little bit like, well, I'm a minister. I mean, I'm a parapsychologist, but I'm also a minister. Just because I don't have a church, but my headquarters is here. And I'm really out there, and, but I help people in different ways. You see, I go to the people. Like, people don't really need to come to me. I just go to the people. So, but regardless, he was this Adam Sheaf, 51-year-old man who's now confessed to murdering Pastor Bill. He has confirmed. I knew it was a religious motive. The way he was like, the way that it spread him out, the way he made him look like a crucifixion. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care about what he claims he believes in his God. No. That is the actions of a devil worshipper. I don't care how you want to sort of use God as an alibi, right? Or what your beliefs are. Those are the actions. And he had a kill list. He had a kill list of names apparently, and I was a bit worried if I was on his kill list. Quite possibly. I am a minister, I'm in the same area, and he had his targeted areas as well. Yeah, he claimed he was following Pastor Bill, but I don't know, I don't believe that either. I don't actually believe a lot of what's coming out of that man's mouth, but we shall see, Secondly, what freaked me out, which really got me as well, which I actually went to the police about, but I'm still waiting for them to contact me. When they released his picture, when we finally found out who the suspected murderer was, as soon as I saw his face, I got kicked in the gut. When I get kicked in the gut, that's my intuition. There's something very wrong. And I just looked at him and I went, I've seen him before. I have a very strong feeling I have seen that man before in my community, either as a guest or a visitor. Now, I would be intrigued to know for sure whether that wouldn't be hard to sort of confirm. I mean, if he's being let in as a guest, that would be a little bit harder to prove. But if he's, we all have cell phones these days, so it would only just take technology and cell phones, how it pings, to clarify that to be in this particular area, if he's been in this area before, because he claimed it was a bit random to come here. I don't buy that either. So, but again, we can contradict that. If it's investigated properly, they could figure that out, whether he's been in this area before. Now, here's my stance and my personal opinions, and my spiritual opinions on areas in Arizona. Tucson, there's little areas in New River or in the surrounding areas, right, and Sedona, that have a high influxation of dark witchcraft. People, devil worshippers, Satanists. Don't get me wrong, they're hidden. They are hidden in the church too. But these are the people that go to church. These are the people that claim to read the Bible and, believe in God. But they are into dark witchcraft. They don't really worship the Most High God. That is just their front. And in Sedona, there's a high influxation of dark energies and dark sort of witchcraft that goes on there. Everybody knows this. Tucson is huge for witchcraft, right? This is the areas, and again, these sort of people that are heavily into those areas always sort of go to the same areas, into Sedona and things like this. Because of their energy signatures are so compatible with each other's. It's a real weird, it's just sort of real serious, like religious or spiritual fakeness, But this is the reality, and there is a lot of satanic worshippers. So there's little sort of sects of them here, all situated all over the place in the surrounding areas, even Cave Creek. Arizona is a huge Arizona is well known for weird people into weird shit. That's not new. That's what attracts these people in the first place. But Tucson is huge for that, and apparently he was living in Tucson, or he came from California, but he was sort of traveling, apparently, to fulfill his kill list of taking out religious leaders, religious pastors, and priests, because he believes in the Old Testament. I don't think so. No, that's the devil's work. Because thankfully he wasn't using God as an alibi, because he's taken accountability. Apparently he's pleaded guilty, but murdering another human being and not the action. You don't just decide, I'm going to wake up one day and go, I'm going to start killing people because they don't believe in what I believe in, or they're doing, they're teaching different set of religious teachings. Well, that's the whole point of religious freedom, is to believe in the freedom to believe in what you want without persecution. That's the same for the satanic worshippers, the devil worshippers. They have the same right? That's just the way it is. You got to, even though we don't like it, they still have a right to it. Intentions, everything. You start breaking human-made laws and things like that, and hurting other human beings will determine on the outcome of your accountability. But these are the sort of religious so-called people that infringe on other people, other religious or spiritual people's beliefs, because we don't necessarily buy into theirs, or we don't believe in what they believe in, or because other people's differs. That's called absolute spiritual sociopathy and narcissism to me. So, but that's where a lot, and again, when it comes to sort of the dark energies and people that are, if you know me by now, I don't have a problem discussing cults and all this kind of crap, because I don't like it. I don't like this spiritual, sociopaths and things like this who think they can do what they want and then try and use God as an alibi or use his name. Like, he made the statement on his video called that he believes God will forgive him. I'm not quite sure which God he's worshipping. I don't think so. Like, he's definitely not for the Most High God, because there is a price to pay for hurting another human being, and you don't touch one of God's anointed ones that has become a pastor or a priest. You don't touch them, because they're for the communities, they're help for the people. Now, whether you've got a particular personal issue with those people personally, that's a completely different matter then, isn't it? But you don't start taking it upon yourself to think, well, I'm going to go and start killing pastors and priests because they don't believe in the Old Testament or the old teachings. I'm not quite sure what planet this man really believes he lives on, to think that he has the divine right to decide that. That's one's own beliefs, that is, and again, to commit acts against you, and even the Old Testament, there are commandments. You don't hurt another human being, you don't kill people, you don't kill thy neighbor. But apparently he took it upon himself to think he was okay to do that. That's when you've been tricked by the devil. And there's a quite clear indication that you probably went to the dark side, but still holding on to the hope of God will forgive you. Well, all of these fake Christians and these fake religious people out there, like I say, who do attend churches and things like this to hide behind, to hide the facade of who they really are, but behind closed doors, they're into dark witchcraft and energy manipulation and some of the weirdest stuff. And again, secret satanic worshippers and Satanists, and they are devil worshippers, but they can't show their communities, they can't show who they're, because it's weird shit. That's a contradiction. They're just proven they are liars, but then again, the Most High God sees everything. So I don't really feel like he's probably convinced himself God will forgive him. Okay, well, we'll see, won't we? But which God? Because there's a lot of people out here today using religion and things like this and creating these religious cults and things that they claim, well, who is it? They have these different versions of God. Like they pray my God is this God and my God is, okay, well, then I guess we've got the variation of gods then, isn't there? But there's only one Most High God. I don't believe in different types of gods. I believe in one Most High God, and I'm obedient to the Most High God. That's it. So, and again, that energy, that the Most High God energy, the energy of the God itself is a supreme divine, is, well, it's in us all if we want to tap into it. But, yeah, there's no multiple, no. But that's just my spiritual belief. So, and again, when you're grounded and you believe in what you want to believe in, you also respect other people's beliefs. You don't have to like what they believe in, but that's okay. I don't particularly like the actions of human behavior, but they're going to do what they want to do these days. And there's a lot of selfishness. But again, when you're talking about the spiritual community and the religious communities and what people do in the shadows and things like that, and what they're really tapping into is a contradiction to who they claim they're believing in. It's really weird. So there's a lot of liars, and there's not a lot of steadfast in who they really believe in, because again, it's funny because they always want to use God as an alibi when it comes to taking responsibility for crimes against humanity or crimes against other human beings. This is just religious warfare. It's always been like this, religious persecution. But for me, I don't like I don't buy, you see, he had a kill list. Right. Apparently he was living in his car, he was homeless. It's hard to know what's really going on there, but if you feel like you're some sort of assassin against religious pastors and priests, and you're on a mission now with a kill list, well, one, that takes resources. Two, that's going to take money to travel around. What you're going to do, like continue to steal vehicles and break into people's houses, which he claimed that's what he was doing. For resources, well, that was just going to get you caught immediately. So obviously he was not quite smart, but that could also be used as an excuse, like, okay, well, stay off the radar and try and stay off the radar that way, but that's not going to keep you off the radar. It feels like there was other people involved. I do, but he's possibly covering up for them. I feel like there was certain targeted people, but in order to throw off, this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to use my brain now, my investigative brain, and I don't know, I'm not buying it. There's just something wrong with it. I can feel it and everything. I'm like, I don't know. It just feels like there's other people involved, and it's almost like, well, do it this way and you won't get caught, and make sure you do it this way and you won't get caught, and also make sure you've got plenty of different targets because it will throw the investigation off if you get caught. I don't know, there's just something going on, something not quite right about it. That's how it feels, that there's something else going on. But whoever is loyal to it, I mean, we may find out that there was maybe one or two other people involved. I mean, he wants the death penalty right away. So that doesn't make sense either. Because if you feel like you're on a mission for God and you're you're killing these people, then you're in no rush to die. You're not gonna, no. It's almost like the only reason you would nobody wants a death penalty in Arizona. No. But if you, I mean, there's taking accountability for your actions, but this doesn't feel like, I mean, it might look like that, but it doesn't feel like that. It's almost like it's the fastest way to sort of keep your mouth shut about the possibility of other people being involved. If he was an absolute sort of singular killer, then he wasn't a very smart one, because he didn't, again, if he's just sort of camping out, well, if you had to kill this and you're going to start, crossing state lines to go to different states to kill people, well, one, you've absolute premeditation right there. You've done your homework to know where these people live, to know you're going to need money to, you know, fuel's not free, you know. So, but you would want to obviously stay off the road, stay away from hotels and things, so you can stay off the radar as much as possible, which means there's a lot of forethought gone into it. So even though it's forethought doesn't mean there's intelligence there at all. Breaking into people's houses, that's not smart, because most houses today have door cameras, like doorbell cameras and things like this. People, I'm not being funny, but places like the areas like Cave Creek, there's people have cameras all over the place for security. These are neighborhood watches. So these are communities that look out for each other. You're going to start breaking into those houses. You're going to start setting off alarms. You're going to start breaking into people's. That's not a smart person at all. So you were not going, whatever his mission was, his kill list mission, he was not going to achieve it, was he? Because he obviously got caught quite quickly. Then he made it to Sedona, where he was actually finally arrested. So he was able to move a little bit, but it's only 2 hours up the road straight up the I-17 to Sedona. So if he stole, and obviously apparently he stole a truck, but again, trucks have GPSs in. It's not hard. Technology is more, advancements in technology is the fastest way for anybody to get caught. And you're not going to stay on the run for long. And again, he broke into a house apparently where the neighbours were very aware of but then again, you got all of these sort of Airbnbs, but he was acting weird, which got him caught. But it was inevitable he was going to get caught. Thankfully, he didn't hurt another human being along the way, but he was situating himself. And apparently, do you know what it felt like as well? Like the target he had in this area, something, didn't work out, something went wrong. So he ended up he crossed paths with, for me, the way is like he crossed paths with Pastor Bill. I don't believe that. I don't believe that was spontaneous. I don't believe that would have been extremely lucky, wouldn't it? Oh, you're out there, you got a kill list of pastors and priests, and all of a sudden you actually find one in New River. No, I'm not buying that at all. No. There's lots of the thing is, there's lots of churches in these areas, but if you've got a specific kill list, you've already got targeted names. So he must have been on that list. I'm just not, and again, I don't know, I don't feel like what we're being told, even by him, is the truth at all. But then again, I'm never going to believe what a murderer says anyway. So, it's, let me just see what else I was pulling off. I'm just concerned about the fact that I've seen his face before. I do. And I don't really go down to Tucson that much. I mean, I've only been like twice, but I was not there long enough to have come across it. No, his face, I've seen it before. Like, I don't know, I feel like I've seen him in the community. I'd be intrigued to know for sure if he's ever been in this community before. So, which is why I kind of wanted the police to sort of, I don't know. I'm still waiting for like major crimes from homicide to get in touch with me, but I actually just want to make sure I wasn't on one of those names that become. I've got a completely different theory on this, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait a while because I don't believe in coincidences at all, and there's just it's just something about, I don't know, where there's a possibility of a coincidence. I don't buy it. It's just, I don't know. and again, because I feel like I'm terrible remembering names. I never forget faces. I'm very good at remembering faces. I have a photographic memory of faces. Like, I can remember a face I've met like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's like, oh, I know your face, right? And it takes me a minute, but that's why I felt like, I feel like I've seen him before. Like, has he visited my community? I feel like he was visiting someone in my community. So familiar. And if that's the case and is familiar or acquainted with anybody in the in this community, in my community, which is why it'd be easy to sort of, you spot everybody, you kind of know who's passing through and who like lives here. I'd be intrigued to know why that person or those people haven't sort of come forward and explained how they may be. I don't know. I feel like I'm on the right. I feel like where I'm again, but fastest way to contradict me is to prove it, investigate it. I mean, it's not hard. Again, technology, and there's plenty of cameras around here. So, I mean, it wouldn't be. I'm not just like in this community. I also mean around the surrounding areas and things like this. So, yeah, I do. I feel like, yeah, that's what kicked me in the gut. That's what triggered me. Like, I've seen, like, nobody knew who it was until they finally arrested him, and then and he's got a rap sheet too. Typical, really. This is a so-called man of God, but he's just nothing but a criminal. They're all fakes. These fakes today, serious. The most wickedest people I know claim to be Bible bashing religious people. No. They're not. They're too low vibrational, first of all. They're connected to that devil energy. But, they have to hide. Like, they can't be, they're like, one of the sort of people that go, you've got to read the Bible. Those Bible bashers. No, they're not good people. You just don't do this kind of shit. You don't infringe on other people's beliefs in any shape or form. You don't believe in infringe on people's free will. And the whole point to free will is freedom of religion. So you again, everybody's got the right to sort of believe, especially in this country, but you've got the right to believe in whatever God it is that you pray to, etc. But again, intention's everything. But that doesn't mean you have a right to infringe on anybody else's religious beliefs because they don't believe in what you know. So I have a real problem with this kind of religious and spirituality and stuff like this. Yeah, tower pings, cell phone data. There's technology that can contradict me if it was looked into properly. I don't feel like him being in New River was random at all. And secondly, apparently he entered at 2 a.m., broke into his house, broke into Pastor Bill. So if he didn't have a car and he was camping, you need a vehicle in Phoenix. Even in your river, if you don't know the area, you can, you're going to be walking around and no. If you think, how was he following him? That's what I want to know. Because apparently he's supposed to have followed him from one area into New River and then what? Waiting around. Where was he waiting? Where was he hiding? There's a lot of ranches around here. So there's just a lot of things about this case that I'm already like, I don't think so. I'm not buying any of that. I'm not buying his excuse, his reasoning. Do you know what it feels like? Again, personal issues, drug addiction issues and things like this, which, again, if you've got certain types of addictions, you're going to be motivated by money. And depending on how religiously mind controlled you are and brainwashed into your own beliefs or other people's beliefs, you could be easily manipulated into feeling like you need to have sort of these missions of doing God's work. I do the work for the Most High God, but I also know you don't hurt another human being in any shape or form. There is a price to pay for that. It's called cause and effect karma. But again, these sort of so-called religious people, or especially these little devil worshippers, they think they belong beyond the laws of karma and cause and effect and the universal laws. They believe that's how ungrounded they are and brainwashed they are, that they actually believe they're beyond those laws. I call them spiritual sociopaths for a reason and religious sociopaths for a reason. But I just think it's really sad because I was driving past Pastor Schoneman's, Bill Schoneman's, where he lives, where just the other day, and I was just so upset, like, obviously, because I'm an empath and I feel pain and I feel like, well, I'm connected to energy, but I was just sobbing in the car, like, something's very wrong with this case, even though they caught the suspect, but it just feels like there's more to it. And then obviously once the police mentioned that they mentioned he had a list of, like, really, it's like, really, what was he in your river for? You only come to New River when you've got a reason to be in New River. It's not, you don't need to come to New River if you want to go to Cave Creek or Scottsdale or Carefree Highway. You go in that way. You get off the I-17, you go down Carefree Highway. Now, if you're going north or south, you're going to hit the I-17. Usually when you come to New River, because there's a reason you're coming to New River, because you've got to get off those highways and those main roads to come into New River. So I feel it in my intuition, I feel it in my bones and everything. There's just a lot more going on. And, the other thing about, I went into the police station, right? I'm like, where's my nearest police station? Anthem. And when I got to the police station, it was closed to the public. I'm like, what in God's name is this all about? So you can't even just walk into a police station here in this area of God, I can't even speak. Good Lord, I don't know what I was trying to say then. Beginning with P, it'll come to me because I'm still channeling as well. I'm channeling the Most High. Maricopa, areas of Maricopa County, and you can't even enter police stations. And then you try and call the number, non-emergency number, and you've got to go for a rigorous crap. No, that's weird. Couldn't even. You'd have to just, the only way you're going to get access to the law enforcement in these areas if you call 911. Then it would have to be an emergency. It's weird. So, yeah, I don't think I'm on the kill list, but I was intrigued to know, like, I'd like to know that my name is ruled off it, but, so, when I was connecting to Pastor Bill Schoneman, of course I'm going to connect to his energy. It's what I do. It just felt like there was a hell of a lot more to it. Now, you've got to understand, energy sees a lot more now beyond. So they see a lot more that we're not getting access to. They can see a lot more. They have better connection to the intentions and everything. I'm just not buying this guy's. I get it. I do believe it was religiously motivated. I knew that from the moment I heard about the pastor being murdered. I was like, okay, this is, and the way he was laid out. Again, this is the work of the devil. this is not the work of God's loving people. We don't crucify people at all. But apparently he suffocated him first. This is his own words. And then he laid him out, he had to crucify him. Someone make a statement. No. The only people that do this kind of religious acts of violence and to position them are psychopaths and devil worshippers, the evil energy that people connect to. So, and it's because of that devil energy is what gives them, fuels their power source, and gives them a sense of power and control. Now, especially when you've completely lost control of your own sort of life, that you would feel, again, makes no sense, because to have a so-called kill list and, pastors and priests you've got on your list that you've got to get to you've got to basically travel to them into Nevada and California, and for me to drive to San Diego from New River, right, it takes about 6 hours driving, right? So, and that's in California, that's in San Diego. Now, depending on where he was, but then again, even down to Tucson, it takes like 2 or 3 hours to drive down there. From here to Sedona, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending on traffic. From here to Cave Creek, it's a good depending on how fast you drive, a good 20-25 minutes, depending on how far into Cave Creek you're going into. But you need a vehicle. So my question is, if he's apparently camping, how was he getting from Tucson? Was he just stealing cars all along the way and just like leaving them and then stealing another one? I mean, that makes no sense to me, because the moment a car's been reported missing, again, decent cars today, you'd have to be stealing shitty cars that don't have the technology advancement. Now, if you were smart, that's probably the way you would do it, but you would probably have to have the keys or hotwire it. But the older cars, but the new cars have got GPS systems in and everything. So if let's say someone stole my Ford Explorer, I'm going to be like, oh, and it's a new car, it's 2025. Of course it's got the equipment. I'm like, okay, really? Ford, I need you to locate the car. Right? They're going to locate it. So, but again, you'd have to have the key. So if he's breaking into people's houses, he's obviously trying to get access to their car keys and things like this. But then you still need money. How do you know that car's fully, got fuel in or anything? How do you know it didn't need to be filled up? There's just something isn't right. There's just little things that could cause. He would have had to have money. You'd have to have resources. And the only thing you're doing logically to stay off the radar is camping. But stealing people's cars contradicts the whole point of staying off the radar, stealing vehicles. How long was he in this area for? How long was he camping in the area for? Before he came across Pastor Bill. And again, he would still need a car to be moving around these areas, these little campsites, especially when there's a lot of people that camp in New River, which is close to Lake Pleasant. There's a lot of areas up there people like to camp on. So, hey, boo-boo. Oh, my little kitty. Hello, you. Come here. So, there is just a lot of areas. There's a lot of holes for me. I'm not even a criminal investigator or anything. I'm a parapsychological investigator. It's a little bit different to a criminal investigator and a law enforcement. And, the FBI's involved, but I don't know. Feels like there's more to it. It does, and I'd like to know I'd like to, now I'm sort of connected to the Most High anyway, because that's what I do as a minister. And I'll tell you something about me as well. A lot of people, well, I can tell you right now, most people do like me. Well, not really like the love, either hate me is one it is. But devil worshippers hate me. Satanists hate me. Dark witches hate me. Right? Because I have a light. And I'm sure Pastor Bill had a beautiful light too. The whole community loved him. And that's what triggers the devil worshippers and the people, the wrong ones, basically. These are not people of God at all. So a lot of people, when it comes to, because we carry a light, we carry the light of the Most High God. A lot of pastors do. A lot of ministers do. A lot of priests do. I'm not saying they're all perfect and they're all good. Some of them are not. But you would have to know these pastors and priests personally to know if they're good or not. Not just based off what their teachings are. That makes no sense. That's just like the devil whispering in someone's ear going, oh, this one's a bad one. This is a bad phrase. I'm like, okay, I'll believe anything because I'm not wired right. And I'm not grounded, that sort of thing. Now, ministers like me, and I'm a spiritual minister. I mean, I'm open to all denominations, but I'm a spiritual minister. I'm connected through Christ consciousness. So I'm not easily manipulated by the devil or his little demons or his little humans doing the devil's dirty work. I'm not easily lied to by the devil. Unfortunately, people that commit crimes and acts against other people are literally lied to by the devil energy. Depends on how you want to look at this. But these are the people that are into, again, the fake religious people, the fake Christians who hide behind the church, but they're into other really bad stuff. They're not good people at all. They're very evil. And evil is a choice. It's not a condition or a thing or anything. I say it all the time. So it's a choice to be evil. And when you start thinking you've got the right to create a kill list and you're going to kill religious leaders, right? You're not even remotely a good human being. You've already crossed the line and you've already entered into the devil's venue. You're now connected to that evil. That is a choice to be evil. That's evil acts against human beings. No human being has a right to just decide, I'm going to start taking these people out because my faith and my belief gives me the right to. I don't think so. Good God. Centuries of religious wars for a reason, for this kind of crap. But there's individuals that really believe that. Now, the people that tend to do this and think that's okay are your secret sort of cults and your covens of devil worshippers, Satanists. They're everywhere. They're in all the communities. They're everywhere. They're in your schooling systems. They're in your hospital. They're everywhere. So, but they hide behind their careers and they hide behind the shadows, but they put up a facade of front. They're fake. So, but they don't, when you're sort of around them for long enough, I mean, me, I can spot them a mile off and I'll feel their energy and it's like, you're a wrong one, get away, right? If I don't pick up on it straight away, or usually I'm giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, that's a little bit different, but then my guardians are like, get away from this one, this one's a wrong one, this one's an evil one, this one hates your light, because I'm triggering their demons. There's usually a reason, is because they're already connected to that devil energy. Hi, boo-boo. Hello. Hi. You want to come here? Come on, then. Hi. Yes. Hi. Yeah, so, hi, boo-boo. Hello, little boo-boo. You dusty little monkey. Where have you been, huh? So, yeah, I didn't really like this case. I'm not liking this case. I'm not liking where I feel it's going. I don't know why. I'm hoping to get clarity. I feel so sorry for his Pastor Bill's family. It's terrible. Absolutely disgusting. But this is what evil people do. They'll target the good people, the good human beings. And the only types of people that hurt, destroy, and try and kill good people, good-hearted people, are evil people. And evil is connected to the evil energy. And it's a choice to connect to that evil energy. That is the literal devil energy. So, and you get, regardless of what your addictions are or what your demons are, you still don't have a right to be killing in the name of the devil either. I don't think so. But, so, him right now, he might be seduced he might be well and truly into the Old Testament and whatever his justification is or whatever his reasons are, but he is not a man of God at all. And God knows our hearts. He knows the wicked heart from the pure heart. The Most High God knows the difference between a pure, good heart and a wicked lying heart. So, and that's what we're dealing with. They're just and again, but because of society and lots of conditions and all types of things that can get away, we can use this condition to try and get you off with this, and we can use this as a reason as to why you're acting out. We still know right from wrong, regardless. So I don't like that whole, unless if it's self-defense and you have to fight to survive, that's a completely different ballgame. That's not what I'm talking about. And his life was not at risk or anything. He would be a pure, thoroughbred liar to make those claims now when he was basically, he had a kill list, premeditation, which is why he knows he's going to get the death penalty if he's found guilty anyway, because too much premeditation's gone into it. But I'm more concerned about, do I feel like there might be other people involved? I don't feel like it's just him. And the fact that it was so messy, like a strategic kill list that requires resources and yet so messy, that doesn't make sense. I can't figure out why that doesn't make sense. If I wanted to put my mind into an evil person, and let's just say, for example, and I'm not evil because that's not who I am, but let's just say I wanted to think like I want to kill people, I'm going to have a kill list, right? And I've put plenty of forethought into it, premeditated thought on how I'm going to achieve this and how I'm going to get to from point A to B to meet my targets, right? Like if I was going to think like an assassin, you wouldn't even know it's being done. I would be so strategic with it in stealth. I wouldn't be a clumsy, I would probably be camping and trying to stay off the radar in that way. Okay, now we've got energy coming in. Face touching. I would be very strategic about it if I had people that I felt like I needed to believe I had the right to kill, which we don't, right? But I also know it would take resources and money. You can't just get from A to B on fresh air. Yeah, this doesn't feel like what is coming out from him doesn't feel right. And I'm probably sure at least the FBI agent, because they tend to be incredibly intelligent, I'd like to think it's possible that one of the FBI agents who was on that case is like, I'm glad we've got you, but something doesn't smell right about any of this. Well, stick with that intuition, because I'm on that too. I'm not buying it, which means more investigation needs to go. There's got to be a lot more behind. I don't know. I would not be taking his. I would not be taking him at face value at all, or even his confession. Great, you've confessed because you're a murderer, right? And you've made it clear that you are a murderer. But it makes no sense. If you know you're going to get, if you've made it easy for yourself to get caught, what was the point of creating a kill list? Unless you're just not fully functional upstairs. So, and now if they're gonna, the defense lawyers are gonna play that card of possible insanity, or they're gonna play, yeah, well, they always like to play these sort of, but again, depending on the state of mind, it's still strategic enough to have targets, but clumsy enough to not fulfill so-called little mission. And again, I can't shift this feeling. I've just been connected to it. I need more. Is there anything we need to know? I'm gonna stick with a higher order at this point because I don't know. I'm feeling like, oh, hello there. I feel like I know someone in this area, in this town or this little New River. I do. I feel like there's a connection somewhere here. Hey, boo boo. Oh, wow. Okay. Huh. Oh, God. The guardians are all over. And I feel like there's a connection to this area. The thing, and the other thing about where I live too, my community, you get people from all over the world coming here, all over the country coming here. So everybody's connected to somebody in different states. So there's always that sort of acquainted connections too. And that's normal for a place like this, for my community. So it wouldn't even surprise me if there was an acquaintance, if he was acquainted to people here or around the area, in this area, New River. Why am I feeling like there's a really strong connection to New River? And again, I can't shift this feeling that there's others involved, like, not obviously in the acts itself, but why am I feeling like that he's being used because of his strong beliefs, and if he's not fully functional either, or if he's got maybe some mental health problems, it could be easily manipulated by others who would use him. The fact that he mentioned he made it clear that he was working alone. I'm not. As soon as I heard him say that, I was like, no. Almost like I have got to be loyal. I can't can't tell the truth. I can't. Oh God, I can feel it. Can't shift this. It's a heavy, heavy feeling. So I hope he wasn't used by others to do their dirty work. That's what it feels like. I'm not excusing him at all. No, not a chance in hell. Because he's very aware of his kill list. But it almost feels like, what was he like? I don't know, like he was promised something. Okay. When I'm channeling, you're going to have to bear with me. Nothing is ever random. There's I just feel like there's real weird manipulation going on. God, it's really... It's making my stomach turn. It's almost giving me some weird acid reflux. Like, do you know what it feels like? Someone's worried. Somebody else is really worried to the point where it's making them ill, like worrying. You know what happens when you worry too much and you get stressed out? You start irritating your stomach. That's what it feels like. Someone's very... Oh, God. Yeah, that's why I feel like there's possibly somebody else or maybe others involved. Aware of it before... Keep coming. I can't get his face at my... I just know that I've seen his face before. He's got one of those faces too. Not in the eyes, but he's got one of those faces that... I don't know. You wouldn't forget. Like if you was to meet him, you would... If you was to see him or meet him again in the future, you go, oh, have I met you before? One of those, because you remember that he's... Some people have those faces you just remember. Hey, hi. Come here. Hey, little boo-boo. Hi. I don't really want to stay connected to this energy either. It's very... It's almost like... And obviously he knows his days are up. Like if he gets found guilty, he's probably going to get the death penalty in Arizona anyway. But it's almost like by admitting it and rushing it, it's just like, let's get it over and done with. But most murderers don't do that. They like to drag it out or find other ways to justify or get out of it or extend their life, you know. This is the fact that he wants to rush his death. I mean, he's already a coward because he commit, and that's against a 72-year-old man. Can't get any more cowardly than that, can you? But that doesn't... It almost feels... Do you know what it feels like? If there's others involved, it's them that want him gone as soon as possible. And I'm just feeling a horrible, disgusting cult connection. I do. I really do. I can't... That's what I can't shift. I kind of knew that straight away. I knew there was a religious motive anyway, but again, when you're the only types of people that tend to persecute religious sort of leaders or spiritual ministers and things like that are devil worshippers, cults, Satanists. It's what they do. It's a sacrificial numbers game for them. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the Most High God does not forgive those who worship the devil and do the devil's dirty deeds either. So that's why you must not be tricked. That's why you've got to be steadfast in your faith. But we have an understanding. To understand is to never infringe. Respect other people's beliefs, even if we don't like it. Even if we don't believe in what they believe in, we still can't do anything about it. It's their right. Oh, God. It feels like there's a real weird cult vibe to this. I'm really not even surprised by any of this at all. This sort of thing is, it's not unusual. Okay, I don't want to stay in this energy. So not quite sure if I'm going to hear from. I thought I would have heard from law enforcement by now, the homicide, but clearly they're not that. I don't know. Maybe they've got everything they need. I just don't think it's as simple as clear cut as this at all. Let's see. It's not even really an intuitive intelligence. It's more, I don't know. It's not a cult, but it's an active case, but there's something not quite right about it, put it that way. I'll probably still put it, oh God, I've still got to work on that missing FBI agent. There's a missing FBI, okay, that's IIDR, that's CCMP72. I'm just going to put this under CCMP73. I'm supposed to be working on a missing FBI agent right now, but I haven't. I'm still trying to reconnect to the frequency. I'm working on that with that energy right now, so which is why I haven't completed it. But this one, I had to just get this out. So it's going to be CCMP 73. It's not a cold case or a missing persons, but it's a case. We shall see. I feel like, I don't know. Strange. I've got this real weird feeling there's going to be some people. Okay. If it turns out there is others involved, I feel like they're going to do a moonlight split. Like they're going to try and there's because I can feel this. Do you know what this feels like? This is normal for when you're working with energy. Like, it's almost like Pastor Bill is connected to somebody that is possibly involved. Because I'm pulling off the energy, it was connected to the frequency of the murderer, the suspected murderer. Suspect, self-confessed. I do, because I feel like somebody is really worried about others finding out about their involvement, possibly. And it's making them ill in the stomach. Like, it's just, and it feels like that energy is ready to run. I feel like there's at least one other person, possibly more, involved. And I feel like these people have become equated through their beliefs, but there's a real weird cult feeling around this, so it's almost possible that they may have met through a cult. They could be connected that way. That's why I always tell people, whether you're religious or you're spiritual, you must make sure you are grounded in all areas, in the mind and everything. Because if you have strong beliefs in what it is that you believe in, you've got to be grounded. Because if you're not, you will be easily manipulated by wicked people who want to use people as a scapegoat to do their dirty deeds. That's what it feels like too, like there's a bit of weird manipulation has gone into this. Not quite sure. But the Most High God always has a way of making sure the truth comes to light, regardless of what people really are saying or. Weird. Well, that's where I'm at with this case right now. I do feel like there's more to it. And I'm not going to keep reiterating it. But again, technology could either prove that or prove me wrong. I don't mind either way as long as it's being locked into properly. Oh God, no way. Do you know what this feels like? This is why I feel like there's somebody else involved. Like he was staying with them in the area. He may have claimed he was camping, but it feels like he was staying with somebody, possibly in New River, which is what brought him to the area in the first place. Oh God. Just. Yeah. That feels strong. That feels. And I feel like there was plotting and planning going on. Oh God. Can't stand this energy. If I stay connected to it, more's going to come through. Yeah, I may have to put a report together. Doesn't hurt to just rule it out right now. Do you know what this reminds me of? This is what it feels like. There was either another person or others involved. They found themselves a weak scapegoat to do all of the dirty work, but they all had the same motive, but they also had their own targets, and they've used somebody like him to manipulate him into believing he'd be doing the right thing. But their targets is more personal. So it doesn't. He's believing it's his beliefs that are justifying. But it feels like he's being manipulated too. For these other creatures, I don't know, I feel like there's at least one or two who've added names of their target and added it and made it look like, well, this one's evil too, or this one's going against the religious text too, this one needs to be on that list too. But it's more personal for the other people, like a personal, oh God, seriously. And it feels like if it's a woman, there will be full-blown sexual manipulation to convince a man to do that. That's not unusual. That's normal. That happens all the freaking time, especially when they want to take out a spouse or something. You know? If this is a cult or a gathering of people, well, then they're just evil. And they just want certain people gone. It feels like there's a real weird sexual manipulative energy amongst it somewhere in order to close the deal of convincing. And I feel like there's drugs and there's just drugs. I feel like there's elements of drugs and sex as the fuel for the manipulative motivation. But then when you're under the influence of all kinds of crap, you'll believe anything, won't you? I feel like there's going to be a hell of a lot. I may have to put this as an intuitive intelligence. Yeah, I'm going to have to. I feel like a lot more. Oh God, it's cold. There's going to be a lot more coming through. I think we're going to get to hear a lot more. I'm going to put this as IIDR70. Yeah. I feel like there's going to be a lot more coming out. So I'm getting my intel in now, I guess. I didn't think this was going to be an intuitive case, but it's starting to. Oh God, I feel sick. I feel like the more I keep discussing, somebody got an ulcer. I feel like I want to puke up blood. That's weird. Oh, I do feel like the more I keep hitting on external involvement, I feel like there's one person that's like getting really stressed out, worried about the truth coming out. That's what it is. It feels like somebody's worried about the real truth coming out of their possible involvement, of the actual. I knew there was more to this case. I knew it. I knew it weeks ago. I knew it straight away, to be honest. But, you know, you gotta wait because okay. Promises. Manipulation. There's some weird manipulation in this case. And there's a weird loyalty. So that's the other thing. Like, there's this weird loyalty, but that's nonsensical because why would you be loyal? Who are you being loyal to? Unless you're being loyal to your pack of somebody you care about or got you involved, or you're loyal to your cult. Because when it comes to like murdering people, this you know what, this does not feel like no, I'm not going there. Oh God. There's something wrong with this case. I feel it. This isn't one of those cases where people around Pastor William Bill were involved. No, it's nothing like that. This is not one of those cases. Like, it's not one of those that's close to home, no. But the reason I was feeling like it was close to home in a way where close to something to do with this area, like there's a connection to this area, the river. I do feel like someone came here for someone who was brought here, or but we shall see, won't we? We'll see what starts to come out. If he's talking so openly now, especially on TV and everything, I feel like he's got a hell of a lot more to say. If he's talking so quickly at the beginning before he's even gone to court or anything like that, if he goes to court, or if he has his day in court, I feel like he's going to have a lot to talk about, which means he's going to have a lot more to say, and that could be worrying if there is somebody else involved or others. It's going to be worrying them. I can just feel this real stressed in the stomach, like, oh God, it's so weird. Is there anything else? Oh my God. I'm just, oh God. I can't get this feeling of there's blood in my mouth. I've got this blood coming, vomiting this blood. I can taste it and everything, and I just, what is that? It's not my energy. It's weird. Be intrigued to know after he killed Pastor Bill, I'd be intrigued to know if he vomited, like if there was vomit, his vomit. Like he may have tried to clean it up in the hope of not getting caught, but that would be DNA. That's weird. I'm feeling like or maybe he vomited all over the place and just didn't give a shit. Don't know why that's coming through. But I feel like I want to puke up. Rather than I can taste blood in my mouth. Like I want to puke up blood. That's weird. Somebody wants this case closing quick. Why? If it's obviously we know it's a murder investigation, but we know the alleged perpetrator is. But there is a weird external, and that's why I feel like this. It feels like somebody wants this case closing, like be done, close the case, and that's it. Is that another reason why he's rushing for the death penalty to happen now? What is this rush? There's a weird rush in this whole case. Promises. I want to know. I feel like he was promised something. I do. I'm starting to get an even stronger feeling now. There was other people involved, like behind the scenes, like used him. Just because they didn't commit the act doesn't mean they weren't involved. And again, Pastor Bill might not have been the targeted, might be right, it might not have been the targeted intention. I feel like somebody else in New River was, absolutely 100%, without doubt, in New River. But if he was on that list too, oh God, I can't get rid of this horrible, sick feeling. Yeah, I'm gonna put my investigative report together. I feel like, I don't know, I'm gonna send it in. There's just something else. There's something going on. There's something else. They might already know. I might be hitting on areas that law enforcement already know, the investigators, even the FBI, just to the point where it could even just be like, okay, so we are on the right track. It could just be clarity, or if they feel this external connection, something else going on, then that's up to them to continue the investigate. I don't know, something. Okay. Well, anything else comes from this in the coming days. I'm going to shut this out. I'm going to close this out at 11:11. Sorry, 11:01. Oh, no. Yeah, 11:01. Numbers are everything. I'm going to put the report together, and then I'm going to keep it open-ended for a few more days. I'm going to try and tap in again, connect, see if anything else comes through. I feel like because there's more going on, I feel like there could be more to come. But I don't, at the same time, I don't really want to, if there is more going on in the investigation, I don't want to be the reason that's a bit contaminated either. But mine's parapsychological, so. Yeah, God. I'm going to pull out this now, though, before I start getting that. This is, I always know when I'm dealing with the energy of the devil energy in people, and it's a heavy energy, it's a dense energy. That's when you know you're dealing with, and especially when it comes to the occult field, whenever I'm connected to that sort of weird cult energy, it's that real dense devil energy. It's like secret society energy and all that dark elites and everything. It's that sort of energy, but it's not, obviously. I'm saying, but it's the same sort of energy. It's the devil energy, dense, and it starts to give you a freaking headache the longer you stay attached to it. But I can't not be attached to it because that's where intel comes from. But that's why I know his whole like faith in the Most High God is not real. No, because the energy, his whole energy, it's too dense to be of high light. It's not light. He's not of the light at all. And the Most High God, the true God, is of light. Anybody that's claiming to be men and women of God and their energies are dense and very heavy, no, they're not connected to Christ's light, Christ consciousness at all. They're not connected to the light. So that's why you can always tell. And then you can always tell people who really are like men and women of God, because you can see it, you can feel it, you can see their energy, you can feel it, like, it's beautiful, you know. That's the difference to coming across people and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a man of God. I'm like, oh, I can think so. Okay, then you keep telling yourself that because your energy see, people lie, but energy doesn't. And I say this all the time. People, you'd be amazed at what comes out of this when people want to lie. And they think they're really good at lying, but their energy is screaming the complete opposite. So I never listen to what comes out of people's mouths. And if I'm listening to it, then it's like, okay, well, that's not making sense. But okay, well, keep going. You know, now I'm going to feel like I've got to investigate now because I feel like you're a wrong one and you're lying. So what's going on? So, because energy doesn't lie. And you can't fake, you can't force your energy to lie either. Only the mouth can lie. The energy, the soul is truthful. The soul is the one thing you can't manipulate. And your soul is your true truth, essence. And that's why it's like, no. So when people go, for example, when people come across me, they go, oh my God, you're just like, you're so light and fun and loving, and yeah, light. It's the difference. Because what I say is my actions match my words. I say it as it is. I speak as I find. My actions, my truth matches my soul. And most people these days don't do that. But that's only when you really know yourself, though. You've got to really know yourself inside and out. And then you've got to have integrity, and you've just got to be an honest, real, kind person. You don't need to feel, when you're real and you're loyal, and you're not loyal, well, yeah, loyal depends. But when you're real and you're kind and you're truthful, your soul matches your energy. That's it. Your energy matches who. That's it. That's all it comes down to. Most people, that's the difference. But most people don't really like that because they don't like truthful people. They don't like the truth. So it's like, whatever. They just dismiss it like, okay, well, you can. Again, I'm going somewhere here. I'm going to keep going, but that's weird. But when people don't want to believe what I've got to say, they'll dismiss it like, no, you're lying. Okay, I don't think so. Don't need to lie. What do I need to lie for? Lying don't get you anywhere. Don't achieve anything. Makes no sense, but most people lie. And then they think they're really good at it. And it's like, okay, well, when you're around an energy reader, like, oh God, you're lying. And then they wonder why certain types of people just see right through them because they can't hide who they really are. It's energy. But most people don't read energy. Like some people can read it. They just naturally assume that person's being truthful because they're saying it so convincingly. With the energy, it's a completely different ball game. But yeah, maybe it's because of him. I feel like he's lying about something. He's being truthful about what he's involved in and what he's done. But there's also something else going on. And if I've been treating it, well, if they're already asking the questions, is there anybody else involved, they might have already picked up on the fact that, why are you lying? So, I'm going to leave that one there. I'm going to get this typed up tomorrow. Like I said, I'll keep it open-ended just for a few more days. And then I don't think for a second is homicide or law enforcement's going to get in touch with me. I don't know why. It's just weird. Like, it's only a phone call, isn't it? But apparently that's just too much these days. So, whatever. But either way, I don't really care at this point. I'll just, I thought they would, like I said, I thought they would have contacted me by now. I'll just get this report sent off. So I'll just give it a few more days. But if they do make contact with me, at least they'll have a report of what I think's going on. Something, because I feel like, and again, because I feel like I've seen him, feel like I've already seen him in this, possibly in this community, like either passing through or visiting. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of reached out to the police anyway. But secondly, to hope to God that I wasn't on that hit list, because I am a minister and he had a religious motive. Kind of knew that straight away. But you don't know. Again, now he's made it clear that he was going after ministers and pastors and stuff up in Sedona and all over the place. It's like, so you don't know if you're on him. And apparently the law enforcement have been reaching out to the people that they've seen on the list. That's good. That's a good sign for me. But peace of mind is always a nice thing. And secondly, I'm just not liking this feeling. There's something else going on. So I want, and the fact that it's been, I don't know, the fact that somebody tried breaking into my freaking house in April. 3:16 in the morning. I don't think so. That's not the thing to do in these areas. So, but anyway, that's just my stance on that. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, thank God that I had to close that energy out. That was just, that's not good energy, and it was getting darker as well. Like that's usually when I know there's a lot of external energies involved. So, if I hear anything back from this, which you probably know, if there's more to this investigation, to this case, you're going to hear about it anyway. Obviously, I'm going to monitor this case. I'll even put the link into the most recent, his interview via Zoom, I believe, in jail. Can you believe that? God, it must be great to be in prison these days when you've got access to the internet and everything. Being sarcastic too. That's not jail, is it? That's not prison sentence or anything. When you've got access to the outside world and you're getting free meals a day and all that kind of stuff at the taxes expense, it's not really a sentence. It's not really punishment, is it? But anyway, yeah, there's nothing else coming through right now. But yeah, so I'll leave that there. But like I say, I will put the link into that sort of little interview he did, and then I'll keep monitoring this case. Just feel so sorry for that pastor and his family. Terrible. And you never know. If I'm lucky, whoever tried breaking into my house might try again. If they're an idiot. But this time I'll catch them and then I'll have them arrested, because nobody is invited into my home. And I certainly, nobody has the right to just think, be able to just break into Karen's house at 3:16 in the morning. I don't think so. I'm a kind-hearted woman. I'm not that kind. No. And like I say, I don't let people into my home. My office is about as far as you're going to get in. But the rest of my home, no way. It's my sacred space. So, and I don't just let anybody in. Not anymore. I have my reasons for that, but not anymore. Why am I focused on that? It's possible. I wonder if Pastor Bill was that protective too, protective of his space. Just, usually when I'm just sort of channeling or connected, nothing's really random when it's coming out my mouth. There's usually meaning behind it. So anyway, I will leave it there and I will see you all again very soon. If you like my videos or any of my cases and my parapsychological analysis on any of my cases, I would be absolutely over the moon if you can give me a thumbs up, maybe a like, share, and all that beautiful stuff. And then obviously if you want to take a snapshot of that QR code, that is my super thanks code. That really just helps me sort of continue to make content and invest more time and energy into everything that I do for you guys and gals. So I'll be grateful if you could just give me one of those. And you can also use the link in the description box below too. Big love.